Um, Great question. Growing up in Texas, not a lot of ways out of there,
Right.
and I'm not 6'6". I'm not 200 some pounds. I
But you're
wasn't.
pretty tall though.
Yeah, but I'm saying as far as like
Yeah.
the athlete that gets the attention that would
Right,
garner
right.
garner a scholarship. However, everybody.
This is the CLIMACO podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the CLIMACO podcast. My guest today is Lee Patterson. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm blessed. I'm great. Glad to be here. It's
Me
always
too,
a
man.
good
Glad
day.
to have you here.
Always a good day in Miami.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your first time here?
No. I've been here on a lot of different occasions. Never like this though. This
Right.
is strictly business, and everybody like, hey, you the Memorial Weekend. We working. You know what I'm saying? We getting busy.
Money don't know time.
Sir?
Money does not know
It
time.
does not, but it knows speed.
It
You
sure
know what I mean?
does.
So that's why we here getting busy, because money loves speed.
What are you on currently? A podcast tour, right?
Yes, sir.
How's that going for you? How many interviews have you done? How many podcasts have you been in?
Man, it's going amazing. You know, we flew in last night, caught a jet in. Me and some of the team came in yesterday from Atlanta. We hit up about 3 or 4 street interviews. I did about 3 podcasts last night. Worked our way to about midnight.
Wow.
Got home about 1:30. Staying down in Brickell. You know,
Okay.
so it's jumping in Miami this weekend.
Oh, it's popping.
But you know me, I'm like I said, we here to get busy. We here working. You know, it'll be a time to play. You know, the good book said, "There's a time to work, there's a time to play." So once you understand the difference, think you have a lot more balance in life.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that early sacrifice for that little bitty time. I mean, what Memorial Day? What, a weekend?
Yeah.
I sacrificed a weekend to set me up for the rest of my life. You know?
Right.
I like those odds.
The ability to make your own time and not rely on a holiday for you to have a break.
Correct. Yeah.
You know
That's
what I
what
mean?
got me out of the 9 to 5. I just did not understand. Look, if I had a 9 to 5, I would have asked to be off yesterday,
Right.
so I can get here. Think about that. You know what I mean? That's too much control over me. Nothing against those that got 9 to 5, but
Right.
I just
It's not for everybody.
yeah, it's not for everybody.
No.
Yeah.
Some enjoy it. Some enjoy the comfort of, okay, I have a guaranteed paycheck every 2 weeks. Some love that.
Yeah.
And some make a good amount of money, like enough to live off of a decent life. Not everybody, but some do,
Right.
you know?
Yep.
And they're able to make that work for them.
Yeah.
Tell me, where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Longview, Texas. It's in East Texas. A lot of people never heard of it. About 80,000 strong. It's in between Shreveport, Louisiana, and Dallas.
Okay.
Kind of trying to get a figure out like where it's at.
Right,
off
right,
interstate.
right,
I'm
right.
on Interstate 20, which a lot of people like, really? Because I'm in Atlanta now, so I can literally just take Interstate 20 all the way home. Get off the exit, and my mom's house is right there. Literally.
Wow.
And so
How long's that drive?
12. 10 to 12,
Okay.
but I don't make that drive no more. I probably made it in about 10 years. I'm fortunate enough that I can fly in now. But that drive is just, if it's over 3 hours now, man, I gotta fly. I just want to sit there.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Same. I'm from New York, and I've done that drive a couple times. It's about a 19-hour drive from Miami to New York, and I've done it with my wife and 2 kids.
Oh,
I got a 5-year-old. Well, at the time it was a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and we did that drive. So we actually, the last time we did it, we drove there, and my wife's like, "Listen, I'm not driving back.
right.
You drive back with all the luggage, and I'm flying back with the kids." And she flew back with the kids, and I drove back by myself.
Wow. Yeah.
I had a great time. I love driving.
I was gonna say you enjoy. Some people enjoy that.
I do. I love
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
what's
enjoy that.
Yeah.
It's just me and the open road. You know? I leave like really late, like 8, 9 p.m., and I drive all night. By like 6, 7 a.m., I'm in Georgia.
Yeah, and I would enjoy driving, except I always got somewhere to be right now. Like if I ain't got nowhere to be, hey, let's ride, man. Let's let the music play loud.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let it blow through a little bit of hair I got left. You know what I'm saying? Like absolutely. So I'm learning to appreciate a lot of things that I didn't as a youngster, especially quietness, stillness. Because we always want to be busy, moving.
What's next?
What's next? Now I'm like, man, now I almost pay not to do stuff, right? One, because my back hurts. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I just you value your time more. You value the stillness and the quietness of the day, which is why I get up so early in the morning to work out.
What time do you get up?
Alarm goes off at 4:30. Depending on if I'm meeting somebody to run.
How long you been doing that for?
Man, for once I realized the sun was up at 6 o'clock, probably about 20 years, right? Because
Wow.
I'm a runner. And so a lot of people like to go at 5:30, but I don't know, it's weird. Like they say the older you get, the earlier you get up and the sooner you go to sleep. It's true, but also I realize as entrepreneurs, we can get a lot done earlier, right? It extends the day. The day is a lot quieter in the morning, so I don't have a lot of distraction. Phone's not blowing up quite yet. And I could just kind of move at my own pace versus what something dictates me to move at
Right.
once 8 o'clock hits, right?
Right.
Everybody's like grabbing for your time and attention, whether that's your team, your family, blah, blah, blah.
True. It's true. There's that stillness to that time in the
Yeah,
morning.
I'm sure you got to get kids ready for school, so you probably forced to get up a little bit earlier too. But for
I'm
me,
up at 5:36 every day. Yeah.
But for me, I've studied the rich, the wealthy. A lot of them get started early.
Yeah.
And I also, my first win of the day is I make my bed. I can't get in an unmade bed. And my mom instilled it in us. Like when we got up in the morning, we had to make our beds, and we could not get back in it till bedtime. We did not sit on the bed, and I know that probably sounds crazy now,
No, that makes sense.
but it was just one
I
of
get
those.
that.
It's one of those things. Like so now, when I'm up, I'm up. Even if I wanted to get back in the bed, it's like weird. So I go and lay on the couch. You know what I mean? Because the bed's made up. You know what I mean? So, so that's I love that routine. And when I read it, it made me kind of solidify some things that I already was doing.
I like that because you're able to differentiate sleep time and nap time. Mm-hmm. There's a speech, I don't know if you've seen it, by a Navy, I don't want to say it wrong, but it might be a general or a colonel, where he's giving a speech at a college, and the whole point of the speech is to make your bed every day. Because like you said, that's your first win.
Yeah.
And that trickles down to your next win and your next win, and you keep that momentum going. You start the momentum by making your bed every day.
Correct. Because think about all the people who feel like they fighting a losing battle or just wake up with a losing mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And just something just as simple as a bed. Making your bed is something that just like boom, completion. That's why I love track or running. It's point A to point B. Even if it's an out and back. It's point A, point B. I'm one of those people, I like to check the list off.
How'd you get into running?
Great question. Growing up in Texas, not a lot of ways out of there.
Right.
And I'm not 6'6". I'm not 200-something pounds.
You're pretty tall though.
Yeah, but I'm saying as far as like the athlete that gets the attention that will garner a scholarship. However, everybody can run, and they can get better. And I didn't think I was that great, but I also knew I worked hard, and I wasn't afraid to hurt. I wasn't afraid to work hard. And I was playing basketball, and the cross country coach came in, and he was kind of recruiting. Mm-hmm. Hey, coach, you got anybody out here that you would recommend come over here and train or run? Pointed at me and another guy, and I'm like, what do you mean for? I was only running hard in basketball. I was hoping to get more playing time, And so
paid off.
it's paid off. Long story short, he took me on this wing, and he was like, hey, man, I got to be real with you. Like, you ain't going to get no scholarship. I was 5'8", 160 pounds, soaking wet. And he's like, nobody's recruiting you, but I think you got what it takes to get you a running scholarship. They do give scholarships for running. I don't know. It's kind of taboo where I'm from. Nobody wants to run. Unless you're running 100 meters, nobody cares.
Right.
And I was like, all right, deal. Because I knew that I wanted to get out of
Was this
my hometown.
before Usain Bolt?
Way before.
Okay.
I'm old. All right.
How old are you?
I'm 46. Yeah.
You don't look it.
Yeah. So
You look like you're 28 years old.
look, man, There's the money right there. But thank you. You know, I just attribute it to genes and drink a lot of water. Right?
Yeah.
It helps to run. To run every day.
100%.
And then
Good for you.
You know, black don't crack, right?
No, it does not.
And so, yeah, man. So that's how I got into running. And I always say I ran my way out of Texas. Right? Everybody kind of stays in Texas and has the same story. They go to UT Austin, or they move to the city of Dallas, Houston, or San Antonio.
Right.
Right? And I just wanted I wanted to pay my own way. And so running was an individual sport for the most part. I knew I could control the narrative. It wasn't about, hey, coach, I need more playing time. No, here you go. You're on the track. See how fast you can run.
There's something therapeutical about running. Mm-hmm. Right? Because you have time to narrow in and focus, right? Like, you can't allow too many distractions to come into your mind.
Nope.
You
Especially if you run on a trail.
Right.
Yeah.
So, were you a long distance runner?
Yeah. So I ran 800, which was called a middle distance, and now today it's called a long sprint. Right.
Okay.
Because people get just so fast, you know. However, I mean, I don't sprint anymore. I do tend to run longer stuff, quote unquote 5K. I used to do some half marathons and whatnot, but it's too far now. So I'm cool with 5Ks and stuff like that. So I like to tell people I'm more of a jogger, because when you tell people you run, and I even hate to enter races, because when you do, they expect you to win. And, you know, there's football players who used to play, like, man, you still look like you can play. And they're probably like, man, I'm not about to tackle anybody. You know what I mean? Like, my neck, back, stuff hurts.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, in running, I don't want to get my heart rate up that high. I'm not trying to hurt and when my legs are going numb. What we call it, where you're redlining.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't really enjoy that feeling anymore. It's almost kind of borderline crazy to think that was a sensation I savor to get, because I knew at the end of that was
exhaustion.
It was a reward of winning or running a fast time. Now it's like I take that in business, and I kind of burn the midnight oil and just like, you know what, been on this podcast with you, no matter what time, how early it is or how late it is, it's gonna pay off. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I get a little sleepy. Yes, I need a little energy, but guess what? At the end of the day, it's gonna pay off.
Where do you like to stay? Like at an orange zone?
As far as running?
Yeah.
So I have a group that I train with. On every Wednesday, we go to the track. That's my time to tap into whatever little speed I got left. And and it's funny because I got these young guys from like 18 all the way up to people that's in their 60s.
Wow.
And so I fall in the middle. And again, I tell them, like, man, that guys, it must feel good to be 20. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was y'all's age. I promise you, I used to could keep up. You know what I'm saying? And every now and then I'll speed up, and then I'm like, now I remember why I don't. It's just an opportunity to be on the track, be amongst people that are young. Just like when you get older, it's cool to be around younger people.
For sure.
So it keeps
Tap into that energy.
Absolutely, man. And so I run mostly so I can eat comfortably. I don't eat bad, but you look down and belly looks like it's sticking out. We're like, man, let me get some abs in.
You have no belly sticking out, bro. Please.
Huh?
I said you have no belly sticking out, please.
I mean, I had a little bit. I mean, my pants start fitting a little tight. You know what I'm saying? It starts right there at the hip.
Listen, I can show you a few people with some bellies.
Yeah. So anyhow, you know how it is when you're athlete. You get a little self-conscious, and
I know what you mean.
Let's get a little bit. I also knew that discipline would translate into what we do as a business.
100%.
So it's all a part, like even with the bed. Like, why do I make the bed up? It gives me a pattern that I can follow, a system that I can do that starts my day off and continues to push me to the direction that I'm going. And it's just a habit, good habit, right?
Yeah.
Right? My doctor said I'm good. And, the older you get, for men, it's scary going to the doctor. I go with a little bit more confidence, knowing that I brush my teeth and I've been eating right and, I've exercised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I do.
I can go with a little bit more confidence, and then once you do that, you go regularly. That if there is something, they catch it early. You know, I just buried a family member last week.
Sorry to hear
while I
that.
was in Texas. Yeah, man. No, thank you. But I think some of the stuff that happened could have been avoided had he caught it earlier. You know, and so
I do.
now I'm kind of, obviously I have a business in what I do, but now I kind of like to advocate for us men, no matter what your background and color, going to get checked out, go to get
Yes.
a physical, you know, because we live in a treat state, meaning like we don't try to prevent things.
Yeah.
Right? I prevent getting fat by running.
Yeah.
I prevent getting any type of diseases that could be controlled by eating correctly.
Right.
Trying to stay away from fatty foods. Trying to stay away from a lot of greasy foods. You know what I mean?
I
So that's
do.
what I mean. Like we live in a treat state, man, where because they know they can go to the doctor and they're gonna give you a pill. They're gonna give you something to take. I mean, if it's that easy, I tell people if it's that easy, or everybody's telling you to do it, you might want to probably check the alternative.
And it's really twofold, right? It's like, one, go to the doctor, get checked, and two, do what the doctor tells you to do,
Right?
right? Because
Right.
you can go to the doctor and then do nothing about it.
Yeah.
You gotta follow the instructions. Doctor says exercise, go exercise.
Yeah.
Eat healthier, eat healthier.
And if you don't, guess what? The doctor's gonna prescribe you some medicine either way.
Right.
It's almost like in business. Like, man, since I'm in the real estate credit business, like I would tell you what to do. If you don't do it, I got an alternative for you. Like, hey, you can go ahead and join, and we can fast track this thing. You know, if you wanna, not ready,
Right.
I got a community you can join. You can pay monthly. Got something for you either way. Both of them is probably going to benefit me, but probably not going to be the best thing for you because it's going to be speed and implementation of speed.
Right.
You know, I just made that up, but that
was-
sound all right?
It's all good.
All right, yeah.
Tell me about your 9 to 5 that you quit.
Man, so my 9 to 5. So when I graduated, you know, guess it's even high school. What's next? What's next?
Yep.
And so I went into training, physical therapy, doing the back and neck, and just keeping people fit. And it was funny because people just saw things in me that I didn't see in myself at an early stage in my career, and they was like, "We absolutely love having you here, but this is not for you. This is not what you're gonna end up doing. We just don't think this is like you in a cage."
Right.
And I'm kind of like,
Probably
well,
a stepping stone for you.
yeah. And I'm like, well, I feel, you know, I'm living pretty comfortably. I wasn't rich by any means, but I was, you know, I had a car, wasn't walking, I had a house at that age. You know, I thought I was doing pretty good if you were comparing it
Right.
to the average person.
Right.
And so then an opportunity presented myself. Then I started to believe it. You know, I started to see it, and I understood what they meant. And I also,
Did you enjoy it?
yeah, I did. That's what was so tricky about it, right? Like I didn't, you know, it wasn't about the 9 to 5, but I was helping people, and I kind of
Right.
knew that was my calling, right? I
Yes.
knew that was my calling,
Right.
So helping people feel good and get better and get healthy, I was like, well, there's something to that. So then I took it like, all right, I grew up in a family full of entrepreneurs. We got a family restaurant back in Texas. My grandparents grew up selling snow cones and candy, you know, out the trunk.
That's
per
awesome.
se.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And so I knew I had that entrepreneur spirit. I just didn't know how it was going to all come together with me helping others, right? Yeah, I can make a lot of money, but I still would feel empty because, like, how am I helping others along the way? Which is how I got into this digital product. It's like, man, I'm able to be in front of audiences and actually help people change their life versus just me getting money, flying to Miami, hanging out with Leo, you know what I mean? Speaking Portuguese, you know, touching the ball, you know. And so it allowed me to answer your question, just allowed me to be where I am today. And so my 9 to 5 took me from there to the restaurant business. I went back into everybody in our family has a summer or two in our restaurant business. I was like, man, this is for the birds, you know? And so I was like, I kind of vowed not to ever go that route, but I was presented an opportunity to become a franchisee in a chicken chain in Georgia called Zaxby's. You know,
I've heard of
and
Zaxby's,
so,
yeah.
so we got into that, man. We got into it heavy and hard, and I was able to get 3 partners. I was the muscle, right? Sweat equity. I didn't have a lot of money, right? And we had a money guy, and then we had a guy that was the brains.
As a podcaster, I needed a place to share my voice and hear other stories. That's how Forge Studios was born. A place created not just for me, but for everyone searching for something more. An environment where as soon as you walk in, you feel the energy and you feel welcomed. Where being seen and heard is part of the experience. A place for entrepreneurs to share their journey, for creators to bring ideas to life, for businesses to grow authentically. A space that values mental health, encourages real conversations, and supports those who turns ideas into impact. Here at the Forge Studios, creativity, culture, and purpose aligns and comes together to help you create something greater. A place where we leave the filters behind and we start expressing ourselves for real. The Forge Studio. Your journey starts here. Your impact starts now.
And so
Sweat equity.
sweat equity, absolutely. And that's why I tell people, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You know, it looks different in all different forms when you
Yeah,
come.
yeah, yeah.
apart.
Someone's got to do it.
Right, somebody got to do it. Why not you, right?
Yeah.
And so I got into that bad boy, man. We bought out about 7 or 8 stores in Arkansas.
Wow.
Arkansas. I stayed in a hotel for 6 months, just traveling around, getting these things back up to par, right? It's like a value add, right? Like I'm in real estate now, and everything I buy, I always say, how can I add value and increase the rents, which increases my ROI.
How did you figure all this out?
How did I figure it out?
Yeah.
In the real estate or the
No.
restaurant?
And in the restaurant.
In the restaurant, they got a blueprint for you.
Got you.
You got P&Ls.
When you franchise,
yeah,
right?
You got P&Ls at the end of the day. You got to read them. So again, it's like leadership, poor leadership, poor management. I mean, it wasn't hard to figure out what was wrong. It's how long would it take to fix what was wrong, right? The biggest thing was buying new stuff. You got to spend money. You got to fix stuff that's broke. It increases speed. It increases the quality of food. It increases a lot of stuff. And then we had to get the right people in place. All right, we couldn't go fire everybody at one time. Somebody got to run the show. So we had to strategically get the right people, and as well as while we're implementing the right strategies and processes, right? You know, like I know everything's about systems and process.
100%.
You know, and so there's some leeway of how you could do some systems and processes, and they give you some stuff. But again, if everybody's just out there kind of willy-nilly and just kind of doing their own thing, what difference does it make? You know, and so we came in and did that. It took a little bit of time. Took a lot of headache.
What did that cost you to buy into it and to rehab it?
So you have your standard franchising fee. I think it was $35K at that time. Each store had its own challenges. So depending on what store it was,
Give or take average. How much?
Give or take. Man, it was a lot cheaper than it would have been now,
Yeah.
right? Man, 50 to 60K, right? Because we pressure wash.
In each store?
Yeah, we pressure wash, we wash, we replace broken fryers, baskets, pans, you name it, freezers that people have to keep coming back to temp out and fix it, and and that stuff ain't cheap, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's the first thing I learned. Ain't nothing in the restaurant cheap, and so they just kept patching things up, When you patch things up, that says to the employees, like, we can just
Half-ass it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we had to show them, like, yo, we're here to make your job easy and to do things in excellence, right? I take that with me to this day. Like, do everything in excellence. That way you don't have to look over your shoulder. You don't have to really double back. Doesn't mean everything's gonna be perfect, but it'll set the standard for your brand, for who you are. It'll set, it'll just set things in place, right? When people walk in, they know what we expect. We had a motto, not a motto, but we had like a mission statement, what we stood for, the whole 9 yards.
Do you still have all these stores?
No. So
all these restaurants?
So I got out of the business because I started to understand that it wasn't about the chicken. It was about the real estate. The whole McDonald's, the founder, right? You seen that movie?
Yes.
I was like, you know what? I think I want to go into real estate where I just deal with people. One family, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not vendors, kids, customers,
employees,
all that. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes a special person to run a restaurant. That's why when you see, you know, certain restaurants that could do it at a high rate, high level, it's impressive. And I think, you know, some of them are, especially with the customer service part.
Yeah.
You know, like, it don't matter how bad their service may have been, or the food might have been, if it was cold or wrong. You're going to be patient because you know they didn't mean it, because they have a track record of just making sure things are done in excellence. And so, so I took that model, and I was also fortunate enough to have a teammate that was in the real estate business. So we're running 5-7 miles a day. That was taking about an hour, depending on how far we were running, where we were going. So I would literally just talk his head off that whole run, right? Because talking makes the run go by faster. A lot of people are like, how do you talk when you run? I don't know. You get to a point where you get in shape, and we call it conversational pace, you know? And so I picked his brain. I absolutely, every single
conversational pace. You're teaching me so much right now.
Yeah. So we're running. You know, when you run, you get in shape.
Yeah.
So you can actually go faster, or you either can run that same pace and actually can talk. You know what I'm saying? And so I would just, hey, how do you vet people? How do you do the lease? Can you send me that? How do you find these deals?
What kind of real estate? Was it wholesaling? Flipping?
Well, I got into it just traditional way. Like, I bought me a house, and I did know enough to do the housing hack. So I couldn't find a fourplex, couldn't find a triplex or a duplex. So I got the biggest house that I could afford, or what they would qualify me for my 9 to 5.
Where?
In Athens.
Okay.
So I went to University of Georgia, and so it was a college town, and he was in the college housing spectrum market, and so he knew all about it. But he also started with single family, so he was like, "Yeah, I started single family, and we rent by the doors." I was like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Man, the more doors in that house, the more money I can make." He's like, "We are turning dining rooms into bedrooms because nobody sits in a dining room." I was like, "Damn, this is fascinating." So what do you think? To this day, I don't have any dining rooms in any of my houses, you know, because that's a door that I converted into a bedroom. And when you're a college student, you're not worried about
a dining room
or the aesthetics of a house. You want a clean place, operable bathroom, kitchen, the standard regular stuff.
That's genius.
Mm-hmm. And so my first place, I really got lucky. I got a 5-bedroom. It was 4, but it had a basement. I turned it. You think I wasn't going to use that basement? And so I got it for $95K. It's probably worth about $350 now. And I was renting a room out for $400 a month to each room, right? And
what does that generate you?
It was
yearly?
So the mortgage when I first got it was like $630. So I was making almost $1,500 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I think I can do this, right? I don't know a lot about real estate, but I can do this model. You know what I'm saying? Now, you have to juggle a couple of personalities. Like, it wasn't all smooth, but I can do this. And it made sense. And so I just started buying stuff that if the numbers made sense, I bought it.
That's so fucking
I tell people this to this day. Run the numbers. Don't get emotional. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Run the numbers. Men lie, women lie.
Numbers don't.
You feel me? And so, because this how to get you in the car game too, right? You go buy a car. Hey, get in it. Sit back. Give it some gas. Feel it blow through the wind blow through your hair. Smell that leather. You want it, don't you? Knowing that you probably can't afford it, shouldn't be buying it. The numbers probably really don't make sense, but they'll put you in it because whatever place is financing you at a crazy amount of money, and now you're stuck. Same thing happens in housing. People are like, oh my God, look where it's located. Look at those lights, man. Look how bright, like the bells and whistles. Look at the stainless steel, blah, blah, blah. But the numbers don't make sense. And you're not even living in it. I'm trying to make money. I don't care what it looks like.
Right.
I do and I don't. I don't really care where
Up
it's
to a
located.
point.
Right. I don't care where it's located, but I do and I don't.
Right.
Meaning, like, if I'm renting a college student, it probably needs to be close to campus. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, you run those numbers. It used to be the 1% rule where, like, I need to be able to rent it out 1% of the purchase price. So you can just use what I just told you. The $95,000, I need to be able to rent that bad boy for $950 a month.
Right.
I just told you my mortgage was $600, so I'm instantly cash flowing. Name of the game is cash flow, right?
Yeah.
And so I just told you if I'm trying to do the 1% rule, but without me even looking at the place, that's why I don't have to. I buy a lot of stuff sight unseen. Why? Or I put it on a contract sight unseen. I always kind of go do a little. You got to do your due diligence.
For sure.
And so, I'll put it on I'll put anything on a contract because you got to do diligence. I can always back out of it because things go fast. Things go fast. So I'm always putting things on a contract, and that's why a lot of people fall short in this business. They don't put. They think. Oh, I got to think about it. Why are you thinking other people making moves? So anywho, I take the 1% rule and applied it to this, and as you can see how it worked out. Simple, easy, because a lot of people are just happy with renting it out for what the mortgage is. Okay, great. That's a start. But what about the taxes? What about if something breaks? They not paying it. So you got to factor those things in to everything. So
Right.
even though I gave the 1% rule, even if I would have been renting out at $950, what if something breaks? Refrigerator ain't the $300 that I was profiting every month. You know, it's gonna be about at least $1,000 for a good one, especially a house that big. I'm gonna have to get a good one. You know, so that's what I mean when I said I got into it. That's how I figured out. It was my niche, right? There's no wrong way. Well, there are a lot of wrong ways to do real estate, but there's not only one right way to do it. I mean, you hear people come in, do it wholesaling. So back to what you asked me. So I came in, I did that because I used my FHA loan. So that's another thing. That's why I walked you through from a quadplex.
Yep.
Because you can get up to a quadplex with FHA. That'll be the least amount of money you'll ever have to bring to a deal.
What's an FHA?
What the government helps you, right? And you get some type of assistance, or just a first-time home buyer.
Got it.
Now everybody knows the first-time home buyer.
Yep.
So I used my first-time home buyer to buy my first rental property, and he knew exactly what I was doing. You know, like he don't care. He was trying to close the loan, trying to close the deal. Because typically you got to live in it for 2 years before you can start kind of doing that stuff. And so I started doing it immediately. And because I was making enough money to pay the rent while I was staying, and like, why would I stay with all these other people? You know what I'm saying?
Makes
That's
no
what
sense,
I tell
yeah.
young people to do.
Right.
If you're young and you don't have any kids, no commitment, blah, 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 rent your rooms out. Stay for free. Even if you're not making money, you staying for free, which is making money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's one of the, it's several housing hacks out there you can do when you get started and whatnot. So, but back to the story, I ran out of money. I was finding a lot of deals, and I was just wholesaling them because I didn't have the money to keep them. And I quickly realized, like, man, I'm giving away all my deals. I had a guy like, man, I made you a millionaire. I'm like, no, you raised my taxes, because he was buying stuff around mine because I was finding it. And I was like, well, I can't keep it, at least make some money off of it. You know, so I was wholesaling it to him, and so he was flipping them. And he was like, man, I'm just raising the value of your house. Like,
What
nah,
was your cut for wholesaling?
just depends. You negotiate it. So, you know, wholesaling is I put it on the contract and I
Yep.
sell it to the end buyer, and I get what's in between.
Mm-hmm.
So my biggest back then was like, you know, 30K. No, 75K. I mean, I couldn't get that fast enough. You know what I mean? You know, I'd already had it processed in my head what I was going to do with it or whatnot. And I wasn't doing stupid stuff. I learned real quick, like, don't do dumb stuff with.
I've done about 5 wholesale deals in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 2022, I began wholesaling. I started a company, hired a whole team, and I just went broke before I could even get profitable.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. Like, so on me, with me, it all was on me. I did everything. And what you realize, you get really good at it. And then once, I don't want to lie to you, like, when somebody tells me they are a wholesaler, I know they're not a serious investor. Because you're not a wholesaler. Wholesaling is just a process and one of the exits and strategies in real estate. There's
Right.
3 exit strategies. I tell people this all the time. They look at me like I'm stupid. You can either buy and hold. That's rental property.
Right.
Fix and flip, which everybody think they want to do, and they don't realize how hard it is. Wholesaling. That's it. Right? So Am I a wholesaler? No. Do I use that strategy? Absolutely. There's some things that I don't want to touch. I told some people yesterday, like, I only do things that I put makeup on a pig. You go in there and you paint it, slap some flooring down, change out some faucets.
Done.
Paint the wall. We good. Put it on the market or even rent or whatever I choose to do. It's real quick. It's not ripping a roof off of that thing. Even when we put another room up, all we doing is literally closing in.
Right.
Closing in. It's not that hard.
No, it's
I
not.
don't even really have to even put that many more plugs in. I don't even have to run even any much electrical because it's already a room. So there's already outlets in there. So they just need to use those. You know what I'm saying? So again, the things that I do, man, they literally take a week and a half, and I'm ready to go. I just bought a property a couple weeks ago. I must say a caveat that I inherit issues. That's why I get them such great deals. It's typically I have to evict them and get them out. A lot of people don't know how to do that, or it's really stressful for them.
So you like inheriting issues?
Because I get a better deal. I'll take that on for a good deal. Absolutely. You want to sell me this apartment because there's boo-boo on the floor? I ain't the one going to get it up, but I'm going to buy it. And you probably like, well, I got sick of it and blah, 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 and I ain't want to deal with it. I'll give you a deal if you take it. Absolutely. Hey, got something for you to do over here. Check fixes everything. That's what a guy told me. Because I used to be terrified of a lot of stuff when I got in this business. A lot of things. It's like, why, bro? Why? A check would fix that. Man, but the toilet is overflowing and there's stuff. I can show you some pictures now. I'm like, you ain't got to do it. I was like, and the reason I was terrified because I didn't know who to call, which just brings you back to why it's important to have a mentor who can show you these things, how to find these people and not be afraid.
Right.
You know, I tell people I was afraid and nervous of a lot of things when I got into this business because it's a lot of things that can go wrong in real estate. You know that.
Of course.
I mean, if you don't do the right due diligence or right contract, you could be on the hook for some stuff, or be blackmailed, or be blackball on a lot of things. And people, they know you don't know what you're doing, you know. And so I took the wholesaling strategy and was able to come up with some money to continue to buy. And then wholesaling got a little tougher. And then a buddy of mine, he actually was my mentor, and he was like, hey, what are some of your biggest struggles in your business? Like, man, I could keep running out of money. You know what I mean? Like, ain't that most people's problem? He's like, well, what if I could show you how to use your credit to fund every deal you do? And I was like, well, you'd be worth the price of admission. You know, it's simple as that. Like, you worth whatever you want to charge. And so that's when I got into the whole using my credit to purchase real estate. And I actually even taught him how to purchase real estate using the credit card. He didn't know. You know, so when I tell people what I do and how I teach people how to purchase real estate with no money out of pocket, it sounds taboo and so just unbelievable. But when I say, look, there's a way to liquidate a credit card without doing a cash advance. The bank's going to finance you 80% or 75 to 80% of the deal. And then we use the credit cards most of the time at 0% to finance the other 20 to 25%. And there you go. And again, it comes back to the numbers, right? The numbers got to make sense. The rent or the mortgage or the rent that the renters pay need to be able to pay the mortgage off, number one, right? And then the credit card balance, not the actual balance, but the monthly
payment,
whatever it's due. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously if you want to be aggressive, take the extra that you're making and just pay the credit card off aggressively, right? And so once I started explaining to the people, like, oh, I didn't know that.
Do you also fix their credit?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't necessarily do the credit repair, but I have a DIY, or I got somebody on the team that could do it.
So let's break it down. How does one buy property with their own with their own credit?
So first you got to fix your personal credit, right? You need your personal credit score up. And then
what's a good score? What do you need to have?
I like to see it over 750, right? A lot of people say 700, but I like 750. So because when we start running through the process and it drops, I'm still over 700, right? And I tell most people, once you get over 750, 770, you get the same deals. You know what I'm saying? As long as everything else is worked out. So we do that. We go in, then we structure your business credit profile properly.
Real quick, how long does it take to get someone's credit to a 750? if they're in like a 650.
Sometimes it just depends on what's on it. Like we have to read it. Cause man, he would be like, I'd be like, what's your credit score? Oh man,
As a podcaster, I needed a place to share my voice and hear other stories. That's how Forge Studios was born. A place created not just for me, but for everyone searching for something more. An environment where as soon as you walk in, you feel the energy and you feel welcomed. Where being seen and heard is part of the experience. A place for entrepreneurs to share their journey, for creators to bring ideas to life, for businesses to grow authentically. A space that values mental health, encourages real conversations, and supports those who turns ideas into impact. Here at the Forge Studios, creativity, culture, and purpose aligns and comes together to help you create something greater. A place where we leave the filters behind and we start expressing ourselves for real. The Forge Studio. Your journey starts here. Your impact starts now.
$650. Soon as we pull it, cause they be telling me Credit Karma stuff. I'm like, that's a Vantage score. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna give you the best, so you'll sign up with them. You know what I mean? Like so, we pull it. We'll go to myficoscore.com. We'll pull it so I can see all three side by side. I know they're gonna be different. Sometimes they don't realize it, but when I show them, I'm like, look, you're not even close. Most of the time, it's not even close. Maybe one of them, because I think TransUnion are always high, but we look at it and then I'm like, man, you got some work to do. You got a lot of stuff going on, and so that's why I have to see it side by side. And then I can go, you got to fix this A, Y, and Z, or A, B, and C, and then I also have a data checkpoint. So when we get people funded, we do it in confidence because I have a checkpoint. Like I know exactly what we require, and so if you do these things, when I take them to our banking reps, they know we're not bringing them to them without
almost guaranteed.
Without things being said. So when you ask how long it takes, everybody's different. Depends on what's on their credit profile. Because man, nobody is usually 100% correct when I ask them what is going on with their credit. Because nobody ever looks at it side by side. You know what I mean? So because when we go for these credit cards or these products that these companies offer, we know what they pull from. But we got to make sure that each one of yours got less than 3 inquiries, right? You can't have a bunch of inquiries. I don't care if you got an 800. If you got more than a certain number of inquiries, they're gonna deny you.
Why is that?
Yeah, huh?
Why is that?
I don't make the rules. It's just the checkpoints. Because it looks like I can tell you.
Makes it thirsty?
Yeah, you're thirsty, right? Because I mean, if you got inquiries, how do you get inquiries?
By checking.
You've been applying for stuff. And they're like, well, you've been applying for all this stuff and you come to us and they didn't give you the money. Why should we? Right? You see what I mean? So those are checkpoints.
They're so stingy.
They're looking for, I tell people, banks are looking for a reason not to loan you because they don't want to take on risk.
But isn't that how they make money?
Exactly how they make money, but is it worth it? You got to vet people. I need to rent a house out. You telling me you got cash, that's a red flag, number one. You call me, I got the cash on me right now. Well, nobody does business like that. A red flag, no, sir. You know what I mean? And so it's like they're looking for a reason not to give you or to take a risk,
right,
even though you think you got what it takes. And you may do, but you just don't check off their list that they have. And whoever made them is who made them.
Right.
And it's probably whoever money it is, right? So they're like, I can't take that risk. And so, even in utilization, if your utilization is over 30%, there's a good chance that you're probably not going to get funded because you look like you can't keep your debt down low enough. So I like to say between 10 and 30%, closer to 10. You don't need to be at 0 because you got to show you actually use this stuff. Like, why would they want to give you credit and you already got a whole line of credit or you're not even using? So they look at these things. This is all part of the thing that they run you through, a process they run your credit profile to. That's why it's always important to set up your business profile correctly. They answer your question about
It
how to go
does.
from
It
personal
does. It does.
to
Because
business.
I need to do that. I need to start buying property for two folds. One, I want to get into real estate, but two, I need to offset my taxes.
No
I
doubt.
have very high taxes.
Yeah. So did you put yourself on payroll?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one way. Then obviously you write off a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know I got to the point where I had to start showing that I made a little bit of money. So the bank, if you ain't making the money, you write everything as a loss. They're like, well, why are we gonna give you some money?
Right.
So you said, sometimes you have to show that you're making money. And so what I did with that was just put myself on payroll so I can have a W-2. So now I'm showing like I make X amount of money, regardless of where it's coming from.
Right.
Again, we don't make the rules. I just play by them. I didn't know this stuff. I'm not saying talking like y'all know it all. No, this is the part where I go check with your CPA, and they can tell you. That's what my CPA told me. And so I run that play, and I'm able to just continue to keep myself in a good spot. Because once you get in real estate, it's a thing called like the 1031 exchange, where you can just take capital gains and move it to another piece of real estate without being taxed on it. Like there's a lot of beautiful rules and regulations that are specifically meant for real estate owners and investors and just businesses in general. This is why I try to move everybody, or most people come to me, out of their personal. You wouldn't believe how many people do business out of their personal. It's like, man, you're really asking for trouble, especially if you get audited. And they ain't gonna really audit you when you ain't making money. It's when you quote unquote make it.
Right.
Now it's like,
Who are you?
and
How'd you
why
get
is
that
always
money?
in your personal name? And so obviously, and the biggest reason why we also do business out of our business, because I can run up the credit in the business side, and it won't affect my FICO score on the personal, right? So we run it up over there. Then we can go for more funding.
Let me ask you a question. How are you able to split personal and business credit? Because I feel like in the beginning of your business, your personal matters a lot.
Absolutely. So that's why I started with personal. And so what we're doing, this is no doc funding that we're going after, which means we're PGing it using our personal credit. And so we fix that, and then we go over to the business side, and now we don't need the personal anymore. We need to keep the score high so we can continue borrowing, unless you got a lot of money in the bank. I tell people, you got $5 million in the bank, don't worry about your credit score. We can do a lot of, we can, when they see that money.
Leverage.
You don't think they're going to let you use the money, especially if you got that money in their bank.
Right.
They ain't looking at your credit score. You
Right.
know what I mean?
They don't care.
But for people, regular old people like myself, that would change my life. Man, I was tickled pink when they loaned me money for $95,000 to get a house. Ain't nobody ever trusted me with that kind of money. Why did they trust me with that? I showed consistency at the job, right? 9 to 5, and I had a good credit score on the personal side, and that was just to get started, right? And so to then go to the business side, why would somebody trust me with business? Going back down those checkpoints. Oh, got a good personal score. Oh, his business is set up right. He got a business address, phone number, email, website, all those things, DMB score, all these things that they look for. I want to say, you don't get funded on accident. Just don't. But you can get denied on purpose real quick. And so I like to tell people, you don't have to, this is not a guessing game. It is really a straightforward process. If you are disciplined and you are willing to either invest in somebody to tell you how to do it, or you willing to invest in yourself to learn how to do it. You pick your poison.
Right.
But I told you, speed, money loves speed. And if somebody can show you exactly how to do it, why wouldn't you pay them to do it? Yeah.
Because you get there a lot faster.
I'm a runner. I like speed.
How many homes do you have under management?
I was up to about 12. And remember, I told you I do things by the door.
Yep.
So I had like 50 to 60 doors. And so then I got into this digital space. And so I was like, you know what? I want to 10x the speed. I want to 10x this digital space and how I want to grow, which is why I'm down here in Miami with you. And so I started to reverse engineer this thing. I sold off a couple properties just so I could invest into the marketing and what we do, right? Because if they can't see you, they can't buy from you,
Right.
right? And so I understood that real quick. And I asked my mentor, hey, man, what do you see in this business that keeps people from succeeding? And he said, they don't want to do the work because it's a lot of work. Like, I've been on a lot of, this is just a podcast. This ain't even got nothing to do with the other stuff we do.
Right.
And they don't want to spend the money on marketing. They think spending $50 a day on Facebook ads is good enough. Heck no, we run a 5-day challenge. We're going to be spending $50,000 a week because we got to get the eyeballs. The more people see you, the more people can buy from you, period. And so that's how I've kind of taken, that's kind of what I've done with my real estate, because what's going to happen is, the numbers. There's some crazy numbers. Like, people doing crazy numbers in this space. Even from the school community. Like, I started a school community, and that's reoccurring MRR every single month without me doing anything. Just off a subscription model, because that's where our society is heading. Everybody's got to, whether you want to or not, we're on some type of subscription. So I said, well, let me get a piece of the pie. You know what I'm saying? And so I've really invested heavy in that, so that now, like you said, now we end up in a tax situation. Well, guess what? I got some stuff that I can buy. Right? How do you fix taxes? You buy stuff. Mm-hmm. You're forced to buy things. Yeah. Like, people don't be understanding, like, why you got such a nice car? And why? Because he is forced to buy stuff. Yeah. Or Uncle Sam gets it.
You're going to take, right.
So if I know that there's real estate to be bought out there which is going to give me a tax break. So I'm not saying I broke the Da Vinci Code or anything, but I do know I can make a lot of money in this space. And I am making it. And I can turn around and I can buy real estate and protect my money.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. Yeah. And so that's the angle that I'm taking, and I'm going to bigger, better stuff. And I'm able to get bigger and better stuff, a.k.a. multifamily. Right? Because everybody wants to do multifamily, but multifamily is a whole different beast. Kind of same processes, just a whole different beast.
Why is that?
Just because there's more stuff to look at. Right. I'm looking at a house and looking at one thing.
You got 4 different houses.
Yeah, you go to a apartment complex. I need to see a lot of stuff. I got to read the T12 sheet. I got to read a lot of stuff. I got to see where I can bring value. I got to see where things are, why we're losing money. I got to see how many refrigerators I got to replace, how many flooring, what we got to do to bring, remember, restaurant, what I got to do to spend to bring this up to value to where, like, I can charge more. And so I at first I'm like, man, I worked too hard to get rid of this stuff or to sell some of this stuff off. But then I'm like, you know what? I ain't really want to do. I'm trying to move past single family anyway. And like, I know, like, if you get to making good enough money, sometimes we overspend on stuff. You might have want to bought those fancy shoes, but I had a really good month. Tomatoes, like, whether it's a couple $100 or a couple $100.
Sometimes you gotta give yourself that reward.
Yeah, and so, like, if I'm making that kind of money, I do have to overpay for an apartment or real estate. Uncle Sam was gonna get it anyway. Right. And so for me, I'm like, I live in a mindset of abundance.
Still a profit for you.
Yeah. So when I get to rolling, I'm going back on another podcast next week anyway with Leo, and we're gonna talk to some more people, and we're gonna get busy. So I'm gonna keep making money. So I'm not even really worried about pennies. And I say that.
No, I get
lightly,
it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, if you start penny pinching and you start being cheap, that's the fastest way to me to kill your business and just the morale of your team, especially if you're not taking care of it.
Because you change the energy and the mentality around it, right? You went from abundance to scarcity.
Correct. Yep. So that's the model that I'm on right now. So I still have like 20 doors. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I just completely shut that down.
What's that making you per month or per year?
It makes me about $20K a month, because what I did also is I paid off a lot of them. I kind of made such great deals. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't even like telling people what I paid for my house, because it's like those people like, fix and flip, you can make the next 6 figures. You're like, no, you can't. It's not that easy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm careful how I tell people what I make. Not because it's a secret. It's just, That was back then. This is now. And you know, people sell you on what they did when they got in. I'm like, yeah, but things have changed.
Right.
Come on, keep it real.
And it's constantly changing.
Constantly changing. So for me, I'm gonna keep it real. And even in the credit space, I like, always do your homework. The card that Chase offers today is not the card that they offer in 2-3 months or tomorrow. And in most of the cases, not even the same card and offer that they offer in another state. They change state to state.
Wow.
That's why we keep the increase down, because we run the play in Georgia. They may pull TransUnion and or Equifax, but we go to Ohio, they pull in Experian. Got to do the homework, and those are easy, and that's easy to do. I mean, you can go to not Redfin. What is it? It's where you go and you can see all the different people's opinions and God dog it. That always makes me.
Twitter, no.
Huh?
Twitter, no. Reddit, no.
Reddit. I knew it was red in it. I always get that part right. So yeah, go to Reddit. The people tell you everything on Reddit. You know, like, so you. I mean, it's not the gospel truth, but it is a starting point. It's a data point.
Yes.
Everything's about data points, bro. Like, I just need to know, like, I'm heading in the right direction, then I can do more research. Most of the time, you can even call the bank. Hey, man, what y'all pulling? And if they're pulling 2 or all 3, we'll freeze 2 of them. That's a lot of different strategies. You can freeze 2 of them. Hey, you need to unfreeze them. Hey, man, look, I just went through identity theft. Can y'all just please pull that one? Yeah, sure. Right? Because you talk like you know what you're doing. These are things that you just have to know when you're going through stuff. This is why I just tell people, like, pay somebody. You ain't gotta pay me, but pay somebody, because if you don't, you'll end up paying for it on the other end via money, time, resources, headache. You know what I mean? 'Cause, like, I used to be that person, try to penny pinch and save $1 and do it myself, and you just, most of the time, you leave frustrated.
What do you think has given you the ability to be driven, to be a risk taker, to have the vision and go after it?
Because I know what's on the other side of risk. What's on the other side of risk is me sitting here on the Leo podcast, bro. Think about that. I would not have been able to take a jet down here yesterday and then be sitting here in Miami with Leo on this podcast, talking to his great people, his audience, without taking that risk. What does the other side of risk look like? Able to pay my parents' house off, buy my brother a house, and when he got out of the military, serving the country, being able to give back to the community that I live in by, just being a sponsor, giving to my church. I can go on and on and on. Like, that's what it looked like for me on the other side of risk, and why I was able to do it and do it with confidence, and to be able to invest in myself.
Right.
Because guess what? If none of this works, Leo, I stay exactly where I was at. So what changed?
It's true. And time's going to pass anyway.
Time's going to pass anyway. And I'm too curious not to try. I really am. It's just, people tell me all the time, like, man, you just go out there and jump in there 2 feet. Because I'm like, because if I jump in there with 1, probably nothing's going to happen. I jump in there in 2 feet, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. And I like action takers are the money makers. You know that.
For sure.
You hear it all the time.
100%.
And so I'm not gonna say it was I was scared into things, but I realized, like, you're right. We got to take action. Whether that's, I like to use running in it because it's my analogy that I've used the most. It's like, all right, man, look, if I take a chance to go ahead and put these extra 10 miles in, or add the extra 10 to 20 minutes onto my run, what would it look like? Yes, I could use that extra 20 minutes to be sitting down, getting water, sitting in the AC, whatever, eating. But if I put that extra 20 minutes in, that's probably going to put me ahead of 1 or 2 extra people in a race. Or make my time point whatever faster, right? We work intensive. Right. It's a lot of time. So that's why I move with confidence. I move with just, obviously I have faith too. I believe that God wouldn't bring me to it if he wouldn't bring me through it. I really believe it. Like, he would not bring me to it if he wasn't going to bring me through it.
I love that kind of faith.
Yeah.
Because that gives you strength.
Yeah.
You can rely on that.
Yeah. I already done let myself down, so I already know I need to rely on faith, right? We all try to do things in our own faith. All you gotta do is get sick one time. If you caught COVID, you really knew, or the flu, or whatever. Like you just know. Like we all been through those times. Like man, I was down yesterday, bro. You could have robbed me, and there was nothing I could have done.
As a podcaster, I needed a place to share my voice and hear other stories. That's how Forge Studios was born. A place created not just for me, but for everyone searching for something more. An environment where as soon as you walk in, you feel the energy and you feel welcomed. Where being seen and heard is part of the experience. A place for entrepreneurs to share their journey, for creators to bring ideas to life, for businesses to grow authentically. A space that values mental health, encourages real conversations, and supports those who turns ideas into impact. Here at the Forge Studios, creativity, culture, and purpose aligns and comes together to help you create something greater. A place where we leave the filters behind and we start expressing ourselves for real. The Forge Studio. Your journey starts here. Your impact starts now.
You know what I mean? And so when you feel that helplessness, you have to depend on your faith to give you that strength, especially in the business, right? Because we have times that we want to quit. You know, people don't really like to talk about that. Like, you don't wake up every day 100% hunky-dory, ready to go,
No.
ready to run, charge through and face the world.
Some nights you can't even sleep.
Yeah. You know, so again, when I talk faith, I tell people like it's nothing against what you believe in, how you operate. I just know what God has done for me. And I would be kidding you to come over here and pound my chest, Leo, like, yeah, boy, I got it together and I want the sharpest thing that ever touched this earth. Heck no. I walk out that door right now, sprain my ankle, break my ankle walking down these steps.
Please don't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So it's like, come on, man. Like I tried to keep things in check. Like I try to keep it real with myself. I try to present to the world authenticity. Like I don't want to walk in, man, and be like, man, I got it all together, or I'm so smart, I'm so great. And yeah, I got lucky, but I call lucky by doing the work. You work hard enough, you will get lucky, right?
100%.
You know, so when people are like, hey,
Because God meets you halfway.
every time you gotta do your part.
Yep.
You know, faith without works is what? Dead. And I heard that, I'm like, well, I'll be dang. I've been reading a book. It's talking about, are you able to honor God with your work? Like, how do you approach work? A lot of people hate their job. Really, really hate their job.
Truly, passionately.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, are you serving that job? Are you serving money? Are you working because of what God has given you the opportunity to do?
I followed this guy on Instagram, and about 3 months ago, he quit his job. Mm-hmm. He cleaned out his 401k. He bought a sailboat, and is currently sailing from Oregon to Hawaii, and then his plan is to eventually sail around the world.
Wow.
Never sailed before, didn't know how to sail, never knew how to operate a boat, bought the boat, taught himself, and sailed. And now is living his dream and documenting it, and has gained over 1.5 million followers and is getting all these sponsorships while being in a boat in the middle of the ocean.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Living his dream.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I tell people, when you find your calling, that is a superpower.
Yes.
There's so many people who cannot figure out what they want to do.
And they're lost.
And they're lost.
Wandering around.
And they're the sheep.
Yeah.
You see them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why in the world? That is not even you. Because they're sheep.
Yep.
And it just makes you scratch your head. Yeah.
And that's where drugs come in. And that's where addictions come in. And that's where abuse comes in, right? Self-abuse. Because you're bored, you have no purpose, you have no mission, you have no destination, none to live for, no why, you can't figure it out.
Right.
So you wonder.
Every time. So, yeah. So you hit the nail on the head, man. So I I mean, that's why listening to you, telling you how you say you moved and you came down and started doing your podcast. Like, you following your passion, your purpose.
Yeah, man.
That's a powerful, powerful thing.
I love podcasting.
I tell people I don't even have to make a dime to do what I do because I felt like I was called to give back.
Yes.
Called to serve. I think that would really, really helps me because it always brings me back to that. So when I have a bad day, I'm like, you know what? Am I having a bad day because I'm stuck on myself or because I'm just not focused on the right thing, which is others,
Right.
and God? Because when you focus on others and God, it gives you a different perspective of your mission and why you're here and why you have been, given the things you've been given. We all got a great commission within us that God has got to live through us before He calls us home.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that I hear this calling in podcasting. And as you were saying, going back to service, I feel like this is my way to give back. It's my way to share people's knowledge, their strength, their experiences out with others.
Yep.
Right? If I can help somebody out there through your experience, by helping you share your message and your experience, if that can help somebody else, I've done my part.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell people all the time, my biggest flex is what I've done for my family. I still drive a 2008 Ford F-150 for my work truck and a 2013 Honda Accord. They both pay for it. They give me point A to point B. Because don't get me wrong, I got my dream car that I think God is preparing me for it to be able to get. But there's other things that take priority over that, which I can wake up and say, you know what? All is well with my soul. All right, because we can be rolling around in a Lamborghini and be empty as all get out. Family could be struggling. Oh, but you look good. What does that look like? Can you imagine you here looking nice and your family is somewhere wondering, like, are we eating breakfast this morning?
Nope.
But you see this all the time. I'm just like, I don't know. It just always reminds me, what profits a man to gain the world, lose his soul.
I know what you mean 100%. I support about 20 people in Brazil.
Yep.
Family members.
Yep.
I pay my parents rent.
Yep.
My goal next year is to bring them down to Florida from New York.
Yep. Remember you saying that.
Yeah.
So
I know exactly what you mean.
yeah.
I also share that pride,
Yeah, absolutely. Because as a man, we're providers.
Yeah. And there's nothing better than providing for your family.
Yep.
Do you have kids? Do you want kids?
I don't have kids. I coach. I probably should have said that. I coach. So I have a lot of kids. We just had graduation. What was it, Thursday? School ended on Wednesday. And so I feel like I just got this group of kids that I graduate every year. I have a youth team that we coach. Is probably
What sport?
track. So from about 7 years old to 12 years old.
That's awesome.
So again, it's me being able to serve the community
Yes.
that I'm in. And I'm like you, I have a lot of different organizations that I support, financially.
That's
And
awesome.
So again, it's just, I don't know, that makes me feel like I'm doing my part.
100%. And you definitely are.
Yeah.
You're a good dude, man.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
I think that the fact that you're so selfless is what makes you very successful. You're able to see the bigger picture and you're able to say, hey, how can I use this to help others and serve others? That's so rare because most people want to serve themselves.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I have those desires, but
For sure. For sure. We're human.
But guarding ourselves, we guard. You have to guard
Right,
yourself.
but that's not your priority.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not your main focus. Clearly you got to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta eat. Yeah.
Where do you want to be? Where do you want this company to be in the next 5 years?
Man, I want this to be where I'm the go-to in the space. Not out of arrogance, but just out of
Out of experience
out
and
of experience and a necessity.
Yeah.
And And that's why I always say I hope people can see the authenticity in my voice and the way I move.
Do you want to be like a Grant Cardone, like to that level?
If that's what God has called me to be.
Yeah.
I really want to be what God has me to be. Again, like, I didn't need this.
Right.
But I also understand the power of it. I ain't stupid.
Because you can help at all levels.
You have it all levels.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To some people, Grant Cardone is too unattainable, too unreachable. You know?
Yeah.
And you might be just the right flavor.
Right. So it's like, I would love to be where God wants me to be. If that's up there, if it's right here, cool. If it's just right here, I have to be, because I gotta be okay. I gotta be okay with it.
100%, I agree.
You know, and so I'm just I say that, like, yeah, I want to be big. That'd be great, but I also just want to be where the Lord has me, because if it gets too big and that ain't where He wanted me, it'll crumble.
Right.
You know, if it's too little, then guess what? I won't grow the way I need to grow. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, so I say that to say, yeah, man, I want to be big time. Absolutely, Leo. I want to be doing this dang thing. I want to say, Leo, flying you up to Atlanta to come and see me.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I want
yeah.
to be there. Like, Leo, my guy. Like, Leo, can you come speak for me at my nonprofit and just share your heart with what you're doing down in Brazil? You know, like that got me excited just talking about that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Let's make it happen. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, what's the chance of me knowing that I'll be speaking Portuguese this morning?
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, like, I don't get to practice my Portuguese that often, so I was just like, you know, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because you asked me if I could speak it, I'll probably say no. But
Right.
it just starts to come out when you start. It's like Spanish, you know. You start talking like, I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
Spanish,
yeah.
You know, but hola, you know what I mean?
Might be time to go back and visit.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah.
My man, what a great podcast.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming out here, sharing your knowledge, sharing your wisdom, and really, really showing us what's capable when you really put your mind to it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Look at that camera right there, please. Let everybody know where they can find you, your social media, your course, your program, your website, whatever you want to share.
Yeah. I do most of my stuff on Instagram, so you can find me on Instagram at Lee A. Patterson. Most of everything that I drop, my free community, is all within the bio. You can find me on all platforms at Lee A. Patterson, and I'm always getting busy on the on social media. So if you need anything, I'm easy to contact, easy to find. So reach out to me, join my free community where I just give away a lot of free game, because I'm here to help. Obviously, if you take it to the next level, we have levels for that. And I thank you guys for having me.
Lee, incredible. Thank you for being here. Guys, if you're into real estate, if you're looking for funding, if you're looking for someone to coach you through that process, go follow Lee. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we'll see you guys next time.